8 of the world's richest people who have served time. 1. Alan Stanford, serving 110 years since 2009. Stanford's prison sentence is the longest ever handed to a billionaire. In 2008, his net worth was $2.2 billion. He was convicted for security fraud. Stanford sold $7 billion in fraudulent certificates of deposits. He had to pay a personal money judgment of nearly $6 billion. Stanford's Ponzi scheme was the second largest after Bernie Madoff's. 2 and 3. Mikhail Khodorkovsky and Platon Lebedev served 10 years. Khodorkovsky and Lebedev were business partners. Their oil and gas company Richest was one of Russia's most successful. Both were arrested for tax evasion in 2003. Each was sentenced to 13 years in prison. Khodorkovsky was the richest man in Russia in 2004. Their sentences were later extended. The arrest and the sentences were obviously political. Both ex-billionaires were pardoned in 2013 and 2014 respectively. 4. Rajaratnam served 8 years. Born in Sri Lanka, Rajaratnam made his fortune in New York. He founded the hedge fund Galleon Group in the 1990s. It rose to manage more than $7 billion in assets. In 2009, it collapsed after Rajaratnam was arrested for insider trading. He was convicted on 14 counts of fraud and conspiracy. In 2011, Rajaratnam was sentenced to 11 years in prison. He was released to home confinement in 2019. 5. Joaquin El Chapo Guzman Loera, serving a life sentence since 2018. El Chapo is one of Mexico's most notorious drug lords. He's the former leader of the Sinaloa cartel. Guzman helped smuggle hundreds of tons of cocaine into the U.S. He escaped from Mexican prison twice. Finally, he was extradited to the U.S. in 2019. In 2019, he was convicted on 10 counts of narcotics trafficking and money laundering. He was ordered to pay $12.6 billion in forfeiture. 6. John Kapoor served 3.5 years. Kapoor was the founder and CEO of Insys Therapeutics. The pharmaceutical company doesn't exist anymore. Kapoor was sentenced to 5.5 years in prison. In 2020, he was found guilty of conspiracy to bribe doctors. The doctors were paid to unnecessarily prescribe Insys fentanyl spray, Subsys. In 2023, Kapoor was released. 7. Jay Wiley served 18 months. Unlike the others on this list, Lee is still a billionaire. He's worth a whopping $8.6 billion today. Lee is the current executive chairman of Samsung Electronics. In 2017, Lee spent 11 months in prison. He was sentenced to 5 years for bribing President Park Geun-hye. Lee's initial sentence of 5 years was suspended. That decision was later overturned, so he was sent back to jail in 2021. He served an additional 7 months before being released on parole. 8. Elizabeth Holmes, serving 11 years since 2022. Holmes was the world's youngest self-made woman billionaire. In 2014, she was worth $4.5 billion at the age of 30, but she's since become one of the most high-profile fraudsters. Holmes founded the medical device company Theranos. She lied to investors about the capabilities of her devices. Holmes claimed Theranos had developed a unique technology. It could detect diseases from just a drop of blood. The technology proved non-existent. Holmes was ordered to pay $452 million in restitution.